Hello, folks. Welcome back to my channel. I am the Actor's Take, and before we get started, if you just can hit that like button for me, so we can, get me into the, the graces of the YouTube gods, if you will. And then, if you like, if you like me, if you like me coming out with more content like this, hit that subscribe button. It helps me, push out more of these things for you. So let's get to it, shall we? The Trial of the Chicago 7 is written and directed by Aaron Sorkin. This film centers around one of the most notorious trials in recorded history, where groups of anti-Vietnam War protests come to Chicago to peacefully protest, only to find themselves at violent odds with law enforcement. Sounds like 2021. After the violence erupts, 7 members of those groups are arrested and charged with inciting the riots that happened afterwards. Now, I've never actually heard of this event happening, before this movie came out. It's quite strange, actually, that I was never taught about this trial, in any of my school or even college, rather, because I'm from Chicago and I never heard anybody talk about this. So it was quite interesting. I was like, oh, this happened some years ago, huh? Interesting. Like, I've always heard things about how, like, the Vietnam War was looked down upon by a lot of folks, but nothing like this. So, I was quite intrigued. Now, this film is just loaded with named actors, okay? And across the board, they're all fantastic. Every single one of them. This is like the fantasy football of acting, okay? This is like the all-stars of the thespian basketball. You get what I'm saying? Like, them agents are getting paid. For sure. But in all seriousness, like, everybody is bringing their A game, most definitely. But if I gotta be honest, my biggest standout in this whole thing was Sacha Baron Cohen. Good old Borat coming out here with the range. Who you think you is, boy? He's the sharp, a quick-witted and sassy character, and I was actually appreciating that they had him perform it the way that he was. He brought so much entertainment to the film, man. Especially see as how, it's kind of a political film, so it can get a little exposition-y at times. But that doesn't take away from the script at all. Like, this script across the board is impeccable. It's very incredible. I mean, this is Aaron Sorkin we talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the dude that wrote Social Network. You get what I'm saying? This is the West Wing. You know what I mean? Dude is a legend. By all, like, flat out, he's a legend. But the entire film is sort of centered around in this courtroom. So, some of the legal mumbo jumbo can, like, get over your head sometimes. But the dialogue is just so engaging. You know what I mean? Like, Aaron has this gift of, creating, words for characters where when they're talking a lot, you're still interested in what they're saying. It's kind of similar to what Quentin Tarantino does. I mean, they write completely differently, but it's just that skill of giving the audience something to grab on while they're just yapping at the mouth. You know what I mean? It's really cool. And it's actually really well paced too, if I have to say so myself, especially with his signature, snappy cuts and quips and things like that. Like, everything is kind of like snapping here, snapping there and things, and plays along well with the dialogue. And I thought that was dope. Props to the editing though, for sure. Now, watching the film, it gets exhausting, but I don't mean that as a bad thing. Like, in a good way, it gets really exhausting, man, because the 70s. As this trial goes on, there's a lot of corruption going on and a lot of, just bad shit happening behind the scenes, especially with Bobby Seale's character, played by Yahya. How you say his name? Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. Okay, hope I didn't butcher that. Like, so this whole time, he's being unrepresented by a lawyer, and the judge is just not having it. Like, he just does not care. He's just treating him so unfairly, knowing that he doesn't have a lawyer. And I'm just watching this thing, and I'm just like, I just kept getting mad. I'm just like, the fact that this happened way back when, what I'm saying, when civil rights, all that stuff, this is post all that kind of stuff, sort of, I think. Like, this is like 68, 69, 70, but we are way beyond slavery, and the fact that we have this judge just sort of, you know, man, he was old as shit, man. God. Also, Frank Langella, if that's how you say his last name, who plays the judge, he was so good in there, man. And I just wanted to wring his neck to that fucking screen. I just wanted to slap the top out of his bold ass head, man. Dude was pissed. Dude, you was pissing me off. But I guess that's what makes you a good actor. Shit, he was taking me there. Ooh, he was taking me there. They kind of have him up as like the antagonist of this movie. You know what I'm saying? But, ooh, he is such a dick. Ooh, you was such a dick, man. A couple problems that I did have with the film though was just, there were times where I just couldn't follow all of the characters. You know what I mean? I mean, you got 7 people on trial. I mean, technically 8 if you include Bobby Seale. And you got the prosecutors and like the defense team and all of everybody else that's kind of important to the trial. And sometimes it's just hard to just remember all their damn names. You know what I mean? I just know I have to know him by the actor. Like, that's Sacha Cohen, that's Yahya, and that's the guy from Fantastic Beasts. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's just hard to kind of like know who they actually are as far as the characters go. But like I said, my standout, the people that I remember Sacha Baron Cohen's character because he's sort of like the provocateur of the group. He's like saying jokes and the first one to kind of get out of line and say things like that. So clearly he's going to stand out. And you got Bobby Seale because he's like, the token black guy of the group. I mean, but seriously, he's like, he's the co-founder of the Black Panther Party. So, there's loads of documentaries on him. So clearly, if you don't know who he is, do your research. But, Bobby Seale, everybody's going to know who that is. Also, great fucking job on portraying Bobby Seale. Like, round of applause. Bro, he did his thing on this one. Like, and granted, Yahya doesn't have a lot to really, do in this thing because I don't want to give too much away, but Bobby Seale's involvement in this trial was very small. But the time that they do give Bobby Seale, to like do what he does, all those moments are so just gut wrenching. Like, there are all his moments are powerful. Every time he's on screen, he's still in it. He really is. And, all you want to do is just kind of like get riled up when you watch him. But he does such a good job with portraying his ass, man, for sure. Him making the stand against the judge to the point to where they abuse him. But, it's all powerful stuff, man. It's all powerful stuff. Also, the snappy editing that helps with the pacing sometimes can get a little too snappy to where, a lot of the information kind of goes over your head as well. Not just the exposition, but like, certain plot points and things like that. It just, things are moving too quickly to where it's like, well, what's happening? Because this is a really big trial. And so there's a lot of information that you're going to miss. And, next thing you know, they're like, 6 months have gone by. I'm just like, oh, wait, that's how much time has gone. You know what I mean? So sometimes you just feel yourself kind of missing some of those moments, but wasn't too much of a big deal. But I will say it did kind of affect my viewing experience of the film, if I'm just being honest. And because there's just so many names, man, like, like the movie has to keep on moving. So sometimes you're not finding yourself caring about the characters all that much. You know what I mean? Like, I maybe cared about 2, maybe 3 characters, and it's probably the ones that I just pointed out to you. Like, those are the only ones that I really remember and care about all that much. But like I said, it's not a completely huge deal, but it is a big deal. You know what I'm saying? But it didn't take away from my experience with the film all that much. But it's just, that I'm just griping here. But I thought the film was decent, man. Like, I think it had a good message with contrasting, the difference between like showing people attacking ideas that folks have and then attacking the actual people with those set ideas. You know what I mean? The movie definitely, made it seem like, the notion of free speech was at stake here. And I guess I appreciated the fact that this film, it wasn't so much about the crime. It was more so about the way these folks were treated for having, different ideas and different passions, versus the majority of the government officials and things like that. Like they decided to kind of step out of their sheep bubble and try to make a difference. And whether they were guilty or not guilty for doing, I don't want to spoil for you guys, but whatever they did, the trial represented something a lot bigger than that. It wasn't just about that they did something wrong or they were perceived to do something wrong and now they have to be punished for. It was more so about, do we agree on the same? Do we agree? To how this government is being run, and if we do disagree on certain elements, I'm gonna see you and treat you differently. Maybe in some cases subhuman, just because I don't like your thought process. And I thought a message like that is really powerful, especially in this day and age, because cancel culture and people that just have an opinion are like being looked at as less than. You know what I'm saying? And something like this, where you have a group of folks who, I mean, you may agree with them in what they think about, but one thing that I think can really be acknowledged across the board mutually from both sides is the fact that, these are Americans and Americans need to be treated, the same as any other American. People need to keep their humanity, and people need to keep their rights as Americans up in this country. And the minute you start losing that, you start dwindling down a whole different slope. That's not going to be good for anybody. You know what I mean? So I thought that message was pretty clear. I thought it was pretty powerful, and it was dope. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Also, shout out to my college friends. I saw y'all. I peeped y'all in that movie, man. That riot scene. I saw you guys, and look, man, I'm proud of y'all. Keep it up. I don't want to put your names up there because I don't have your permission to put you out into the public stratosphere of the internet, but y'all my dudes and I appreciate you. Like y'all did that thing, proud of y'all. So keep that shit up. So that's my video, you guys. If you like this video, hit the like button. And if you love this video, hit subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay? Peace.